Oh, hi, good day, fellow educators. My name is Dr. Scott Tibayan. So for this day, I'll be presenting to you a quick demo about management operations. This is all about organizational, operational, functional duties and processes. So this is like a pre-MBA capsule, and at the same time, every time I teach any management or entrepreneurial subjects, normally I give this topic to all students. So at least they will have an overview how a business operates or how an corporate organization operates. Okay. So basically, this is an example organizational chart. Okay. Many organizations, many companies may vary. However, this is the default standard for all. So basically, all the managers in this chart or in this department are always existing in most companies. So first, we start with the highest person in the organization, which is the chairman of the board or the chief executive officer. Of course, on top of those are the board of trustees or board of directors, board of advisors. So chairman being on top of everything. Then followed by the president or the chief operating officer. However, there are some companies where they place the chief executive officer to the president since president is in the operation side, while the chairman is more of the board of trustees, more of the company direction, while the president is more of the policy implementation. Below the president or the chief operating officer is the executive vice president. So the EVP or the executive vice president is the operations man. So this man is the one doing the actual execution. So below the executive vice president is a general manager. So this general manager normally is the head of all the managers or all the departments or all the divisions existing in a corporation. So on the side, if you notice towards the top management group, we have here an EA or an executive assistant, which is co-equal mostly to the general manager. Because the reason why this position is somehow co-equal is because this person is in charge of managing the top executive. So meaning he or she is providing personal and professional duties for this top management. So basically, normally, if the president is not around, normally it's the executive assistant or they call it the executive secretary who becomes the OIC, who becomes the officer in charge, not necessarily the vice president. Same also if we equate this, for example, in a city government, in a local city government model, if the mayor is not around, normally it's the city administrator who takes over, not necessarily the vice mayor. Because as you know, vice mayor has a different duty. Like, for example, vice mayor is more of the legislative. He is the presider of the city council. So the vice mayor just takes over as a mayor if the mayor is already suspended, terminated, or died already. So same also in the corporate level, if you can see here, when the president is not around, it's not automatically that the vice president takes over. It's the executive secretary who becomes the officer in charge because the AVP has a different function. Okay. So below the general manager are the five major divisions, five major departments, or the five major managers. We have here an HR manager, a marketing manager, finance and accounting manager, productions and operations manager, and finally, the latest one, the youngest, is the MIS, Management Information Systems Manager, or the IT manager. So these five are the usual departments or the usual functions that always exist in any other corporate organization. You may notice that in other corporations, they may have additional positions, but these are the five standard, five default positions. Other positions are just offshoot of these five major divisions. Okay, so as you can see, finance and accounting is fused into one. Other divisions in United States, normally accounting and finance becomes different. But if I may, ask the audience or ask the students or ask the participants, who is higher, the finance or accounting? What do you think? Basically, in reality, the answer should be finance because the finance is in charge of treasury, the finance is in charge of budgeting, the finance is in charge of multiplying the investments, while accounting is more of the procedural, methodical approach. Although, but basically, these two functions can operate in one department. And another thing, another cultural factor, because in the Philippines, Filipinos by nature are board conscious and title conscious. So meaning whichever has the PRC license, they really worship that. Although in other countries, they don't care. Because in reality, a license is just um, a tool where you can use for you to exercise your profession. But in the Philippine setting, it becomes different. In the Philippine setting, they view it as something like an achievement. Okay? So here we have CPA in the Philippines. I'm not sure with the CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst. I think yes, but most Filipinos put premium in the CPA. Okay, but doesn't matter. More important is you are doing your job functioning well in the corporate organization as part of the business ecosystem. So because the managers are the supervisors, or we call it the immediate heads, and below the immediate heads are the associates. When you say associates, these are the level 2, level 3 employees, employees who have work experience but may not occupy supervisory roles. And the rank and file, meaning the entry level position. Then now, we discussed briefly the duties and functions of each of the 5 functional divisions or the 5 functional departments. Okay, we start first with the IT. As you know, these days in the modern setting, in the modern generation, IT is very important because most of our industries, most of our transactions are IT enabled or IT dependent. So first function is the systems and software development, uh, followed by the PC maintenance and information workstation upgrades. We also include network connections and stability, information systems architecture, HRIS, human resource information systems, database management, website development and maintenance, and social media and information communications. We also have to include their information security, since, as you know, in this modern generation, a lot of scammers, hackers, fake news, very rampant. So that's why to protect the system, to protect the overall information structure of your corporation, you need a cybersecurity specialist to safeguard, to protect the the IT system in your office. So IT is very crucial, of all. Uh, but of course, when you were in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, not so much dependent with IT. But ever since 21st century, much more now after the post-pandemic era, all of us are much more dependent with IT. In fact, many jobs these days or many professions these days are now operating via work from home. Then followed by the productions and operations division, the first duty is the timekeeping administration, followed by the workforce scheduling. Because as you know, time is very important. Like what they say, money can buy everything except time. Whichever time lost can never be returned back. So that's why, and for proper efficiency, it's very important that you allocate proper work scheduling to your employees, because not all employees I mean, for example, even in the teaching sector, in the academic industry, what will happen to the students if all faculty members will have an 8 to 10 class? So for sure it will be a disaster. That's why, if you notice, we have to properly allocate the time scheduling for the workforce. Same also in the government, or same also in the private sector. It's very important that all departments are functioning properly. So that's why, if you notice these days, most government offices or all government officers are required not to have noon breaks. So meaning there will be shifting schedules. So at least round the clock, everybody can provide the services needed by its constituents or needed by its stakeholders. That's why workforce scheduling is important. In fact, one of the best ways to fix the traffic is also proper workforce scheduling. Because if you make everyone to have a shift of 8 to 5, 9 to 6, it would be a disaster. That's why we have to make it round the clock. There will be a 6 to 3, 7 to 4, 8 to 5, 9 to 6, 10 to 7, 11 to 8, 12 to 9. That will be much better. Look at the BPO sector. They're operating 24 hours, 24 by 7. Okay? That's why they can very well serve their clients through all parts of the world. We also have facilities administration. Purchasing, as they say, one of the most corrupt divisions or units inside the division. Okay, because some people here, some people who works in the purchasing are trying to top up um, from the usual rates that is from the supplier. Which this one, HR should be the one in charge of monitoring properly the actions of the purchasing unit. We also deal with project management, research and development, product manufacturing, delivery of services, creation of business process development, and standards operating procedure. As you know, if you're part of the productions operation, it's very important also to have the total quality management standards, distribution and logistics, and quality control assurance. Okay. Now we go to the next human resource division or the human resource department. For HR, first thing that we do is we recruit new employees. We get the best and the brightest, preferably the most competent of all the applicants. Then, of course, we know that not everything was taught in school, or in short, if they are an experienced employee, not everything was learned in their previous workplaces. That's why we have to retrain them. We have to provide training and development because we have to align the employee with the corporate culture of our organization. No matter how good the employee is, the applicant is, no matter how great their credentials are, but if the employee has an attitude problem, or if the employee is not aligned to our corporate culture or to our values, to our vision and mission and objectives, then it will be useless. That's why we need to train them, to align them. Next is to boost employee satisfaction with their job and working conditions. Employee file management, we call it the 201 filing system. We also do track employee performance and job performance. So we also do process promotions because, as you know, even though the manager is in charge of evaluating the performance of their direct subordinates, it's still HR who is the one in charge of doing the processes, doing the movements, upgrades. So no matter how great the performance of the employee, no matter how nice the recommendations are given by the immediate head, but if the person has pending cases, have issues inside the workplace, then the HR will not proceed for its promotion. It's also the duty of HR to implement benefits package and incentive plans and listen to employee complaints and concerns. That's why we have this career and counseling. We also provide labor relations and labor law compliance because, as you know, many employees are always having issues with the management. So, for example, some of them are being maltreated by their immediate heads or are being bullied or being politicized inside the workplace. It's the role of the HR to provide the balance, to provide justice for their employees. Remember, the mistake of many people, they thought that the HR is pro management. Actually, no, HR is pro everybody, both the management and both the employee, because the aim of the HR is to unify opposing forces. We also have occupational health and safety standards, and HR these days are now have active involvement in shaping corporate policy. In the past, HR is just a support function, but these days, HR works to be a strategic partner in aiming the company's vision, mission, and objectives. So I think I finished already the 15-minute time cap for the demo. So hoping to be given a chance to work there and share my experiences to your students in CIIT. So thank you very much. Maraming salamat po.